بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب يسر ولا تعسر. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين، وارحم يا رب النحاة والصرفيين. وبعد. مرحبا بكم. Welcome to this course on Arabic morphology taught by myself, Bilal. This course is about the science of Ṣarf, which is Arabic morphology, the formation of words, which we will go on to define properly in subsequent slides. This course is suitable for complete beginners to Arabic who have just learned the letters, the harakat, the fatha, dhamma, and kasra, and the basic words, as well as for more intermediate students who, although having learnt more advanced Arabic, they have not properly studied the science of Ṣarf. Now, there are different methodologies in the teaching of Ṣarf employed in the Ajami world, the Persian, Indian subcontinent, and Turkish world, the Arab world, and in the West. The Ajami method focuses more on the memorization of verb tables. The Arabic method is more practical, and the Western method employs Western grammatical terminology to explain the rules of Arabic morphology. Each of these methods has their strengths and their weaknesses. For example, the Ajami method, although focusing very clearly on rules and explaining the rules of the subject in a very simple way, being very useful for a non-Arab student, often the memorization of long tables, which they call girdan, is frustrating for students. The Arabic method, although practical, does explain some of the rules in a bit of a complicated way, making it more difficult. And the Western method, although being in English, uses English terminology to explain the rules of Arabic morphology, which makes reading the original books on Arabic morphology inaccessible to students. So the approach of this course is to merge between these methods in a way that makes this subject very simple and easy for the beginner. This course will occasionally reference the science of Arabic grammar and Nahu, but it is by no means required. If a student has not studied Nahu before, they need not have any prerequisite knowledge of the subject. But I will occasionally reference it. And I will leave a disclaimer that this is Arabic grammar, Arabic Nahu, syntax. And if you didn't understand it, there's no need to worry. Inshallah, at the end of this course, we will be learning to use the Hansware dictionary, which is one of the most useful dictionaries in the English language, originally written in German, for Arabic to English translation. In the way of my Mauritanian teachers, I will start this with some verses of poetry. So I say, a course on verbs for the perturbed, to show the light of day, to treat the sick and guide the lost, to cast the doubt away. So I say verbs in this because the science of Ṣarf mainly deals with verbs, although there is also ample treatment of nouns. So we ask Allah to lift away from us the darkness of ignorance and the illness of ignorance, and to replace it with the cure of light and knowledge. Ameen. We ask Allah for tawfiq and sincerity in teaching this course and in learning it. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So we start with the science of Ṣarf. Now, ilm al-Ṣarf, the science of Ṣarf, is a science which studies the formation of Arabic words, mainly verbs, which are known as fi'l in Arabic, and some nouns, which are known as ism in Arabic, particularly those nouns that are formed from root letters. You may ask, what is a root letter? Well, the Arabic language, similar to other Semitic languages, is based on a 3-letter root system, sometimes 4. Words, all verbs, and many nouns are formed from 3 root letters. Let us take 3 letters, dal, ra, and sin. These 3 letters are root letters. They are in a specific order, and they are associated with a general concept, with a general idea. And the idea associated with dal, ra, sa is learning. And the Arabs employ a combination of different harakat, sometimes with the addition of extra letters to these root letters, to create various verbs and nouns. For example, they took the root letters and give all of them a fatha. To say darasa, which means he studied. Darasat, which means she studied. Madrasatun, the place of study, a school. Mudarrisatun, a female teacher. Tadrisun, teaching. Darsun, a lesson. Durus, the plural, lessons. So the science of Ṣarf tells us how these words are made. How we use combinations of harakat and additional letters to the root letters to create various shades of meaning in verbs and nouns. Now, if I were to ask you to read this column on the right, we have verbs. قتل, درس, كتب, جبر, حضر, فتح. And if I were to ask you, what do all of these verbs share in common? What do you notice about them? Perhaps you would notice that they all share in the pattern of having 3 fathas on the root letters. قتل, درس, كتب, جبر, حضر, فتح. Now, the scholars of Arabic noticed that there exist similar patterns of harakat and additional letters and so on, and they form the science of Ṣarf. And they use 3 root letters. They use 3 root letters, the fa, the ain, and the lam, as a yardstick to measure patterns. So they chose to represent the first root letter with a fa. They chose to represent the second root letter with the ain, and they chose to represent the third root letter with the lam. Fa'ala in Arabic means to do, and fi'l is a verb. So they found this to be the most appropriate word to use to measure the patterns and to represent the patterns. To show a pattern of the word, then, all we need to do is replace the first root letter with a fa. We replace the second root letter with a ain, and we replace the last root letter, the third root letter, with a lam, while keeping the harakat where they are. So, for example, the word darasa, you can take this word, and we will replace the first root letter with a fa. So, in place of a dal, we will put fa. The second root letter is replaced with a ain, a, and the last root letter is replaced with a sin, la. So we can say that darasa is on the pattern of fa'ala. And if you take another word, qatala, it means he killed. He killed in the past. If we were to apply the same procedure, we would also notice it is on the same pattern of fa'ala. So both of these verbs are on the same pattern, the pattern of fa'ala. So we can create these patterns, study them, analyze them, and look at their significance and what they mean and how they transform the meaning of a word. And this is what the science of Ṣarf tells us. Now, it's not just harakat that are added to the root letters. We can also add additional letters to the root letters. So, for example, if you look at the word maftuh on the right, means opened, ed, opened. Al-babu maftuhun, the door is opened, or the door is open, or has been opened. The root letters are fa ta, and ha. But we can clearly notice there are letters other than the root letters. There's a meme and there's a waw. These are letters other than the root letters. Now, these types of words can also be measured with the pattern using the letters fa'ala. So all we need to do is replace the first root letter with a fa, and the second root letter with the ta, and the last root letter with the ha, while keeping the additional letters in their place. So we are only replacing the root letters. So the meme is not a root letter, so it stays where it is, ma. The fa is a root letter, so replacing the fa with another fa, a different fa. The ta is the middle root letter, the second root letter, so we're replacing it with an ayn. The waw is the extra letter, so it stays where it is. And the ha is the last root letter, so you replace it with lam. Maf'ul. Maf'ul. So you can say the word maftuh is on the pattern of maf'ul. Maf'ul. And if you look on this slide, we can see other words on the same pattern of maf'ul. Maqtul, the root letters, qaf, ta, and lam. Madrus, the root letters dal, ra, and sin. Maysur, the root letters ya, sin, and ra. Maktub, the root letters kaf, ta, and ba. They are all on the pattern of maf'ul if we were to apply the same procedure that we just did. And here we have another pattern. Tadris, ta'alim, and taksir. Now you can notice all of them start with a ta, with a fatha on it. So let's analyze this pattern by applying the same procedure. So they clearly have they have an extra letter, which is the ta and the ya. They all share in ta and ya. Ta and ya. So let's apply the procedure. We replace the first root letter with a fa. So ta is staying where it is. The dal is replaced with a fa. Taf. The ra is being replaced with the ayn. Taf'i. The ayn is staying. The ya, is staying where it is because it's not a root letter, and the sin is replaced with the lam. Taf'il. We can say tadris is on the pattern of taf'il. And likewise, if we were to do that with ta'lim, we would find it's on the same pattern. And taksir is on the same pattern. And these patterns have meanings and significance that, if we study them, we can learn and predict the meanings of words instead of checking every single word in a dictionary. So the science of Ṣarf has a very important function. That's it, inshallah, for our first lesson. جزاكم الله خير لحسن استماعكم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.